Hey everyone, and welcome back to Happy Hour with HR, a podcast about navigating the corporate space without compromising your wellness. I'm your host, Dr. Mo, and today we're going to be talking about friendships in the workplace. I started to think about friendships in general and what they actually mean and the role that they play in our lives. And when I think about friendships to me are people that are part of your community, but they're not just any type of person. They are the type of people that are part of your council. So they guide you when you feel like you're falling off. They pour back into you when you may not feel your best. They allow you to pour into them. Like it's an equal exchange of energy and love and care and just this idea of I got you. We in this together. Let's get it done. So that's what I think about friendships as a whole. When it comes to the workplace, I feel like that same concept applies, but just in the work setting. I don't think work friendships have to extend beyond the office space and like office related or corporate related things. I feel like you can have your work friends, you can have your like gym friends, you can have your high school friends, your college friends. Like I feel like you can have all these different categories. But particularly with work friends, I think that their role is to help you get through the workday, especially depending on how um, problematic the work culture can be for that particular company that y'all work for. And how annoying the managers can be, and how like unrealistic the tasks can be. Like I feel like when you have a work friend, you have a type of support system. And when I was thinking about friendships in the workplace and asking myself, are friendships worth having in the workplace? I was kind of torn between an answer because on one hand I say yes, friendships are important to have because again they provide you with the type of support that is needed because the environment that you're in is probably not the healthy it's probably not a healthy environment to be in. Like it's probably very toxic and just problematic. So a work friend is good for in that case. But I also say no because at the end of the day, when you go into a job, your goal is not to make friends. Your goal is to provide a service for and provide your time to completing a service in order to get paid. Your job is to be able to take care of yourself and to take care of your family and to keep it moving. Okay? And so in that case, I say no. Having work friends is not necessary. Therefore, you should not have to put so much pressure on yourself to try to have a work friend. Um, but as I dive deep into this question, I really had to look at, some key things about this idea of having work friends. So like the one thing that I wanted to like kind of highlight is when you're asking yourself, or if you ever ask yourself this question, should I have a work friend? First, you need to ask yourself this one thing. Who are you? Okay. And how do you like to socialize? Because if you're the type of person that likes to socialize and like kind of like you just a people person, meet and greet all the time, then you kind of have like an extrovertedness about you. Therefore, having a work friend is probably very healthy for you because it allows you to live out your personality, your true personality, which allows you to kind of show up in the workspace better. Okay. But I feel like if you're the type of person that is kind of like reserved, then the pressure of trying to have a work friend and like trying to socialize with coworkers, I feel like that could just be too much. It can have the adverse effect of just making the environment more stressful, the work environment more stressful than it needs to be, because you're like, oh, okay, well, maybe I should say this to this coworker or this to this coworker, or maybe I should, blah blah blah. It's like If you don't want to say nothing to them, don't say nothing to them. And keep it moving, because that is not why you are at that job. You're not there to make a friend. You're there to do your work. And if you like the work that you do, you don't have to put so much pressure on yourself to overextend yourself to now build a type of social relationship with your coworkers. But that point leads me to the second point that I wanted to make, which is be honest about the job you have. Now, for me, I've had about 22, 23 jobs since 2008. Okay. That means that, like, basically every year when I do my taxes, I collect at least about 2 or 3 W-2s every year. Okay. Since 2008. And so I've had a lot of jobs, and I've seen a lot of different work environments. And the type of jobs that I've had, they have been career-defining jobs, and they have been filler jobs. The career-defining jobs were kind of like the jobs that I would utilize, that I would emphasize, like, that I went to school to study this thing. My filler jobs were like the jobs that's like, did you pass high school? Can you read? Like, those are like my filler jobs. And so a lot of those jobs were in the restaurant industry. Until recently, in which I'm like, why do I keep going back to this industry? Maybe there's something in it that I really want out of it. And so, but I had to be honest with myself about, like, is this a filler job or is this a career defining job? And I think that when it comes to trying to decide if you want to make work friends, you have to decide, what type of job is this? If this is a filler job in which I'm just here to just collect a little extra money, then why are you overextending yourself trying to build relationships with people when you're about to leave that job in about a year or 2? Or maybe 6 months, or maybe 3 months, depending on what your circumstances are. Like, maybe you trying to get an apartment and you just need to show that you got a job, but then you're gonna be out, okay? And so if it's a filler job, why are you overextending yourself? Okay, but if it's a career defining job, then maybe you should be more intentional about building those social relationships. Not because, like, to increase your network and do this and do that, not all that type of bullshit, but simply because you're gonna be there for a while. So you might as well just start getting used to and try to build some type of rapport with the people that you work with. But I also feel like you don't need to overextend the type of person that you are unless you truly want to change that about yourself. And I'm really speaking to the introverts out there, like like myself. Like, if you truly are like, I don't want to be the reserved person at my job, I don't want to be seen as that, then I feel like you need to reflect that in your personal life in order to bring that into your career life. Like, it doesn't, like, make it consistent, keep it consistent, okay? And so the third thing I want to also highlight when asking yourself this question of, are work friends important to have? Ask yourself this. Ask yourself, are you even willing to make the investment into a friendship? Let's be honest. Having friends that's like another relationship. That is another relationship. You have your romantic relationship, you have your career relationship, you have your familial relationship, and you have your friendship. That's another relationship. And that means you gotta put in time with these people. Okay? You gotta put in time. And if you're the type of person that you don't really want to do that time, then again, why are you overextending yourself? Like, I feel like it makes the work environment more stressful for you than it really needs to be. Like, if you know that you are not about to meet with these people after work because your idea of a good time when you get off after work is sitting at home, braless, with the shirt on, socks on, some gym, sweatpants or shorts, or sweatpants on, and you like watching up on some reality TV. And it's not that you don't like your coworkers, it's just that really seems like a good time to you. Then why are you overextending yourself? Why are you trying to force yourself to go out and waste a lot of money at happy hour? Getting down some drinks so that you can feel a little bit more comfortable being in a place that you don't want to be in. And again, it's not that you don't like your coworkers, it's just that you prefer to be at home. And I'll just say this, one thing that I noticed about myself is that I see the job as my social outing. And what I mean by that is, when I leave my house, if I have to put on a bra and leave my house and sit in a place and talk to people that I don't really care to talk to that much, not because they bad people, but just because I don't feel like talking like that, if I have to do that, I have already socialized for the day. So that means that when 5 o'clock hit, or whenever that shift is over, going somewhere with you afterwards, why? We just socialized. While I was typing on my computer and you were typing on your computer, that was our social interaction. When I said, are you going to lunch? And you said, no, I brought my lunch. We have socialized for the day. And I'm good. I'm fulfilled. Me, as an introvert, I am fulfilled. So that means that I don't need to go anywhere else with you after work. Unless it's like a really good happy hour deal and I feel like you might like this deal because of some of the things I've seen you eat at work, blah, 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 blah. But again, you're not putting that much pressure on yourself. You're just like, oh, I just want to share this thing with you because I think you might like it. You're just keeping it cute, but keeping it moving, okay? And so I think those are like, overall, because I don't want to spend too much time talking, but overall, I think those are like the 3 things that you have to ask yourself. Like, it really comes down to being honest with who you are and what you have capacity for, and to not pressure yourself when it comes to whether or not you should have work friends. And again, as a recap, 3 things to keep in mind as to whether or not you should have work friends is to, 1, find out, really sit down with who you are and how you like to socialize, okay? If your work friends, they like to going out to the club, but your idea of socializing is going out to a museum, then you don't need no work friends. These are not your type of work friends, okay? Let's just keep it moving, be honest. Number 2, ask yourself this, or say to yourself, like, be honest with yourself about what this job actually is. If it's just a filler job and you know that you are not about to be there for that long, don't try to invest your time in the people and like trying to get to know them and doing all the other stuff. And when I say don't try to invest, I mean like don't overextend yourself. Don't put too much pressure on yourself to make a friend at work. And so again, just ask yourself, is this a filler job or is this a career defining job? If it's a filler job, don't put too much pressure on yourself. If it's a career defining job, my suggestion would be to make that additional effort to just build some type of rapport with these people, because you plan to be at the job for a while. So you might as well try to get to know somebody at least, And the 3rd thing to keep in mind is ask yourself, are you willing to make the investment in learning about this person? And like hearing their stories about their life and all this other stuff. Going out to have drinks with them. Going out to like birthday celebrations. Are you willing to make that investment? If you are not, because you don't want to do those things, like you don't like doing those things, then don't put too much pressure on yourself to try to make a work friend. Like, just be a cool ass team member. I just feel like you should set the bar high, just being a cool ass team member. And so, yeah, but that's about it for me. Thank you all for watching and listening to Happy Hour HR. If you have any comments or thoughts, leave it in the comment section below, and I'll love to read it. Bye.